Hi, welcome to part two of my Hill Dwarf video. Not Hill Giant, as I had ended it with the first video, but this will be part two of the Hill Dwarf video. We were talking about Hill Dwarfs and how they would operate in combat, specifically in a combat they know is going to come in, maybe a war or a siege. They have a battle that they're going to go do against a rival clan or some monsters. Um, they would have beautiful or named or storied weapons and armor that they would use to make themselves look impressive and to make the biggest showing that they can. Hill dwarves prize metal weapons. They cannot actually make iron weapons or steel weapons themselves, but understand its value and especially and will take those sort of weapons when they can find them, especially weapons of dwarven craftsmanship or dwarven creation that are really made for them. They appreciate them. Hill dwarf life in their clans is usually full of a lot of civic duty and hard work, but they take pleasure in it. It's a simple life. There's always going to be lots to do, but at the end of the day, they will gather together, create a big fire, have a huge feast. They will have singing and dancing. Hill dwarfs are accomplished musicians, drums, woodwinds, that sort of thing. They actually, much like their mountain dwarf cousins, are really talented artisans and will create things in the venues that they can and the materials that they can. Wood, stone. They they they're very talented artists in that way. Hill dwarf Hill dwarfs are also talented cooks, at least for the human palate. They make great use of spices and meats and pairing different things together. They'll make their own alcohols and their own sort of grog, in a similar manner to the mountain dwarf, and they enjoy that sort of thing. Hill dwarves are generally illiterate. They don't have a written language for themselves, but they do have a very rich oral history that they go over with each night. So the average hill dwarf will be very well versed in their family's traditions, the traditions of the clan, of hill dwarves and mountain dwarves themselves. The hill dwarves worship Moradin, same as their mountain dwarves. They understand that they originated from mountain dwarves and keep that tradition alive. Each hill dwarf would have a small shrine in their own hut or their own home wherever they stay for each family. Uh, there would be no mountain dwarf clerics. That's simply not the way they would operate. They would fish, they'd be farmers, they'd be carpenters and artisans, but each hill dwarf male especially would be an accomplished warrior. One of the skills that a hill dwarf would have is the ability to hurl small boulders, I guess large rocks, something in the 5 to 10 pound range, in the same manner that hill giant would do. They take advantage of their huge shoulders and their huge upper bodies to hurl to really great effect and efficiency these giant rocks, which for the area where they live, they can just bend down and pick up. They start training to throw these things as toddlers. Consequently, they're dead eye efficient with them. They can hit just about anything if it's within their range. Uh, every hill giant could do this to incredible effect. Hill giant, or sorry, I keep saying hill giant. They are hill dwarves. Every hill dwarf could do this to incredible effect. Again, the same sort of way that hill giant would be able to do this. Hill dwarves tend to be very territorial, and they don't leave their territories. They're not nomadic. Consequently, you're not going to get very many hill dwarf player characters. They really should be kept uh, as an NPC encounter for player characters to encounter, as opposed to a PC character for players to play. Hill dwarves get along very well with their mountain dwarf cousins. They enjoy going down into the mountains, into the mines where the mountain dwarves would reside. They like to trade with them. They enjoy buying their products. They look up to them a little bit in awe. Uh, where mountain dwarves respect hill dwarves, but definitely see them kind of like their country yokel bumpkin cousins. They, of course, would never say that to a Hill Dwarf. That, of course, is going to be an immediate problem that's going to have to be dealt with axes and knives and swords again, and screaming berserkers. No, no good there. Uh, Hill Dwarves would have a lot of disdain for elves and that sort of fae. They feel that elves would look down on them, which of course they do. The exception to that, of course, would be wild elves. The Hill Dwarves would feel a fair amount of kindred and acceptance of wild elves. They like but don't really understand gnomes. They really enjoy their company, but gnomes are not quite physical enough and a little too technical for the Hill Dwarf. But they really do enjoy them. They don't understand and really don't appreciate the company so much of halflings, except that halflings really know how to enjoy a good meal and enjoy their evening time. But they're definitely not hardworking or again physical or a battle type of society that a hill dwarf would be able to relate to. They're kind of ambivalent to humans. They tend to they tend to stay away from humans and not like humans in their territory. Too many humans are too many humans will cause problems. They're there to develop territory, take land. They're treasure seekers or what have you. But they understand that each human is an individual, and they're just ambivalent towards them. Outside of that, as I said, the hill dwarves tend to keep to themselves. They they're villagers, tribesmen, really, uh, and really have no interest in developing a life beyond that, or developing a culture or civilization or society beyond that. They're not going to go and trying to expand their lands. They just want to live, raise children, survive, and be successful, and that would be that. The common tribesman barbarian. Anyway, that would be basically the hill dwarf. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this video. For DMs, please take the information I've given and use it to enhance your campaigns, bring something new that your player characters have never encountered and would not necessarily know what to do with, and make it fun. If there's things you like to hear, please use them. If there's things that you would want to change them. The entire purpose of this is for you DMs and you game masters to add something new to your campaign. So if it doesn't fit, don't put it in. If there's a different way you'd like to use it, please change it up as much as you can. You have my permission. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Please give it a like, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.